Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Kasih Atalah. Hello and welcome in this video. We will walking through an HTML document that showcase a personal biodata page. I will explain every part of the code to you in detail so you can understand how it's structured and how it works. Let's get started. First, let's look at the overall structure of the HTML document. The document starts with the doctype HTML declaration. This tells the browser that this is an HTML5 document, which is the latest standard for HTML. Next, we see the opening HTML tag with a lang n attribute, which indicates that the content of the page is written in English. Next, inside the head tag, we define meta information for the web page. The first meta tag, meta charset UTF-8, sets the character encoding to UTF-8. This ensures that special character and symbols are displayed correctly. We also have another meta tag, meta name viewport content with device with initial scale 1.0. This makes sure that the page is responsive, meaning it adjusts correctly to different screen size, such as on mobile device. The title tag defines the title of the web page, which is what appears in the browser tab. In this case, it's titled Biodataku, meaning my biodata in Indonesian. Now let's move to the body section, which contains all the visible content of the page. First, we see the main heading H1, which displays biodataku at the top of the page. Below that, we have another heading H2 titled Identitas Diri, which mean personal information in Indonesian. This section includes basic details about individual. With Within this section, we have an EMG tag. The source attribute refers to an image field scale called 3/4.jpg, which is displayed with an age of 8%. The alt attribute describes the image as text, which serve as alternative text if the image doesn't load. Following the image, we have an unordered list or UL containing several list items or LE. Each item lists personal information such as name, student ID or name, department prodi, address, and email. Moving on, we have another heading H2 of the hobby. For the hobby section, which translates to hobbies. Here an image of a game called Roblox is displayed. The source attribute refers to the image file Roblox screenshot, and it's set to 12% width and height. Beneath the image, there is an ordered list or OL. This list contains a single hobby, bermain Roblox, which translates to playing Roblox. You could add more hobbies here by adding additional LE elements. Next, we have section for riwayat pendidikan or educational history. This section is represented using a table. The table is created with the table tag, and it's styled with a border attribute of 1, meaning the table cells will have visible border. The first row contains header TD with the background color set to light cyan. These headers describe the columns nomor, tingkat pendidikan or level of education, nama sekolah or school name, and tahun lulus or year of graduation. Then we have multiple rows of TR. Each row represents an educational milestone. For example, the first row contains the details of primary school, SD Leila with a graduation year of 2018. Each subsequent row continues this pattern for the different levels of education, including middle school, high school, and university. You can see here, uh, there is SMP 13, SMA 5 Kediri, and IT PLN. Then to finish the HTML document, close it with the body and HTML tag, indicating the end of the content and the document itself. And that's a breakdown of the HTML code for a personal biodata page. You've seen how to structure a web page with personal details, hobbies, and educational history, all using basic HTML tags. If you have any question or need further explanation, you feel free to ask in the comment below. Now that we've completed the discussion on the personal biodata page, let's move on to something equally important, a registration page. After showcasing an individual's personal details, the next step in web development is to create a form that allows other users to register by providing their own information. In this case, we'll walk through how to build a registration form to collect essential data from users, such as their full name, student ID, email, and password. Let's take a look at how this registration form is structured. Wait a minute. Okay, this is the source code. Okay, we begin with the doctype HTML declaration, which tells the browser that this document is using HTML5. After that, we have the opening HTML tag with the length and attribute indicating the content is in English. In the head section, there are two key meta tags. Then there is a meta tag Vapor content with device with initial scale 1.0. This ensures the page is responsive. And then the title of the page is defined with the title tag. And here is set as registrasi, which translates to registration in English. This title will be displayed on the browser tab. Now let's move to the main content of the page, which is inside the body tag. The first thing we see is an H1 tag with the text registrasi akun, which means account registration. This is the main heading of the page. Next, we have a form enclosed in the form tag. This form allows user to input their data. The form tag doesn't specify an action or method here, which means it's a basic form without any backend functionally set up yet. Inside the form, we use a file set tag, which is used to group related elements together in a form. Inside the file set, there is a legend tag with the text formular registrasi, which translates to registration form. The legend provides a description for the group or files in the form. Now let's look at the input files. The first one asks for the user's name. It's created with the input tag and it's of type text. The placeholder or attribute give a hint to the user by displaying the text nama lengkap or full name inside the input box. Then we have the input file of for name or student identification number. This input file also use the input tag, but this time with the type text. The max length is 9. Attribute restrict the user to entering no more than 9 characters, which is typical for a student ID. The next file is for the user email, which is an email input file defined with type email. This ensures that the user can only input a valid format, which helps with form validation. Now we come to gender section. This is implemented using radio button. The input type here is radio, and we have two options, laki-laki, male, and perempuan, female. The first radio button has the checked attribute, meaning it's selected by default. And we next to we have a drop-down menu or a select element for choosing the user's religion. The available option in the drop-down are Islam, Christian, Hindu, Buddha, and Konghucu. Now we move on to the password file. Uh, the first is the password input file defined with the password. This ensures that the character type are obscured for privacy. The second password file is to confirming the password. This is important for ensuring the user has typed their password correctly. The type password ensures it behaves in the same way as the first password file, keeping the input hidden. At the bottom of the form, we have a submit button created with the button tag. When the users click this button, the form will submit, and then the button text say daftar, which means register in Indonesian. The documents end with the closing body and HTML text, marking the end of the consent and the page itself. And that's the full breakdown of the registration form. It's a simple but effective form that collects essential details from the users like name, ID, emails, gender, religion, and password. It's a great starting point for building more advanced registration system. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more HTML and web development content. If you have any question, drop them in the comment below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and share and subscribe for more web development tutorials. See you and thank you.